many breaks today because had matches going to time.
But this one will be a break because
this one we will almost certainly get a break.
He's playing against Dredge. So two of the least interactive decks in Legacy will play against each other.
Both of these players could probably play the match at different tables and then just play out their hands, and the judges could tell them who won.
Exactly. It's like, okay, what are you playing? Charbelcher? Okay, I'll name Charbelcher with Cabal Therapy. That's going to be about the extent of the interaction.
Very true.
I think I'm going to go with Gerardo on this one because Goblin Charbelcher generally about a turn faster than Dredge, maybe even 2 turns.
Goblin Charbelcher is one of those decks that wins on turn 1 a lot.
Yeah, like a good amount of the time.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to win on turn 1 in game 1? I think so.
At some point in the match. I don't know if it'll be game 1, but it will win on turn 1 at some point. I'm really confident about that.
I'm hoping it happens right now.
Me too. That'd be cool.
Let's see a turn 1 win.
Goblin Charbelcher was the first Legacy deck I ever played.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never played it.
It's pretty good, let me tell you.
Is it?
Yeah, it really is. It's really powerful. You know, granted, this was like 6 years ago when people's Legacy decks were really poorly built. But still, it was still good. I played it in Legacy. I played it in Vintage. Vintage, it's fun. You get to tinker up a Charbelcher. Not a very common play.
That's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've only played against Goblin Charbelcher, played against it twice, and both times they just killed me right away. And I was confused because I see that people play the deck in almost every tournament. I never see it win a tournament.
Right.
I never even see it in top 8. So I've always just thought maybe it was inconsistent.
Oh, it's very inconsistent. It has no way to recover from mulligans. It has no brainstorm, nothing like that. So, actually, a card I would really like to see in this list is Serum Powder. You know, it doesn't have to be a 4 of, but something like 1 or 2 of those improves the consistency of the deck so much.
Seems to make sense.
Yeah.
Just free mulligans is nice.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't really matter what cards you remove, as long as you don't remove the 1 Taiga to get with Land Grant. That's the only thing that would sort of hurt to remove. Everything else is a 4 of, except 3 empties. Zach Tyree, on the other hand, is playing Faithless Looting in his Dredge deck. So,
yeah, I think that's got to be right.
Oh, definitely.
You know, if I could think of, before Faithless Looting was printed, if I could just create my own card
yeah.
to be perfect for Dredge, Faithless Looting would probably be
Careful Study of the Flashback? Yeah, that's not bad.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely is. Other than that, though, pretty stock Dredge deck. He has a Flamekin Zealot. That's going to be his most important card against Gerardo. He'll need Hasting Zombies, or else he'll die to Charbelcher.
Yeah, I actually played a deck on Magic Online a little bit this week that included Flamekin Zealot in Modern.
Really?
Yeah. Tooth and nail deck.
So, it looks like the Belcher deck won the die roll. Starts with Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal powers out Tinderwall.
Yeah.
Tinderwall sacks for red-red. It's an 0-3 that sacks for red-red. Also has some other ability involving blocking. Not sure what that one is. I don't think a Tinderwall has
Tinderwall's a ritual.
Yeah, it is. Tinderwall sacks itself for red-red.
Yeah. Desperate Ritual brings him to red-red-red.
Alright, so we're 3/7 of the way there. That magical number of 7. 7 mana. Sometimes 6 mana for Burning Wish for Empty the Warrens, but usually 7. This time, though, it will be an Empty the Warrens. So, Gerardo plays Land Grant. What Land Grant does, if you don't know, it's a sorcery that costs 2. Instead of paying its cost, you can instead reveal your hand. If that hand has no lands, you get to play it for free.
Yep.
So, he'll grab his 1 Taiga in the deck for free. Effectively free. That'll bring him up to 4 mana. And, yeah, he'll be casting that Empty the Warrens, it looks like.
Yeah, pretty big Empty the Warrens there.
Yep. Instead, he could Simian Spirit Guide, cast Burning Wish for Empty the Warrens, and play Empty the Warrens for 2 more Goblin tokens. Which, 10 versus 12 doesn't matter too much, so I think this is the right play by Gerardo. Just casting the Empty.
Yeah, get 10 guys.
Yep.
And that's a decent turn 1. If you're going to be all in, it's not a bad way to do it.
No, I like his Goblin tokens. Actually just breathing fire.
Alright, just putting some dice on this self-made Goblin token here.
Yep. And Belcher is going to have a pretty decent draw to be able to race this. He does have Lion's Eye Diamond in his hand. One of the most explosive cards Dredge can play.
Yeah, Lion's Eye Diamond in conjunction with Cephalid Coliseum.
Yep.
And power on some super early wins.
Yeah, Faithless Looting too. City of Brass. I imagine he'll be casting an enabler of some sort here. Putrid Imp, Careful Study, Faithless Looting, Breakthrough. These are all possibilities.
Yeah, the turn one Breakthrough, not necessarily what you want, but...
Right. Almost never, but... Let's see what Zach does here. It's like Faithless Looting.
And that's a fine turn one play.
Oh, yeah. So Zach to 19. Draws a Grave Troll.
City of Brass, extremely powerful card.
Yep.
Discards a Grave Troll and a Stinkweed Imp. Pretty good. The second best discard he can have.
And doing some math here, he has a Putrid Imp, a Lion's Eye Diamond in hand. He could just go all in right now on the Lion's Eye, flashback Faithless Looting. Seems pretty reasonable to me. The only reason he might not do it is so he can get that Cephalid Coliseum into play for the next turn.
I like waiting one turn.
Me too. Seems definitely a lot better. Though if he does wait till next turn, he has to go off that turn. Has to.
Yes.
So either way,
I do not think that's an issue. If you have Coliseum and
Faithless Looting
in your yard, and you have Troll Imp in your yard, it's
shouldn't matter usually.
Shouldn't really matter.
So now the question for Gerardo is if he casts Burning Wish to go get something here.
Gerardo attacking for 10. Zach falling to 9 here.
Gerardo has a Goblin War Strike in his sideboard.
Awesome.
So if he drew a Mana Source, he would have just killed his opponent.
Players, we just need 2 more for a standard win box. 2 more for a standard
Goblin
win
War
box.
Strike, if you're not familiar, and you probably shouldn't be, 1 red sorcery, deals damage equal to the number of goblins you control the target player.
Going up, and your seedings will be coming out momentarily, so go hang out by your pod.
So for his draw step, he dredges Grave Troll, milling 2 Cabal Therapies and some more Dredgers as the only cards of note.
Please find your pods.
Going to play a Coliseum here.
And take your seats, and we just need 2 more
after that
for
Coliseum,
standard win box. Number 6.
He's going to have a Lion's Eye Diamond.
Yep.
Before he sacrifices that Lion's Eye Diamond, probably going to want to cast this Putrid Imp. Just an extra thing to sacrifice for his
therapy.
Well,
also Dread. Yeah, the Dread return more importantly.
He's going to want to get multiple bridges into his yard before he starts sacrificing guys. He really needs it. He needs to kill them all at once this turn.
Right. But he'll start with the Cephalid Coliseum. Dredge Grave Troll.
And that's fine.
Oh, definitely. That's how you have to start this turn, I think. Dread Return. And really, that's it. No Narcomoebas. There's one. Icarid in the graveyard. Bridge for below. So 1 bridge so far.
Bridge there.
Yep. And he has 1 more draw from this Coliseum.
It's a Grave Troll.
Wow, so really...
Pretty light dredge there.
Yeah,
I mean...
that was not impressive.
Hit a lot of cards, but didn't really hit what he wanted to there.
Yeah, he needed more bridges. He needed a Dread return target. Luckily, he still has that Lion's Eye. He still has Faithless Looting to try and get there.
This is one of the reasons why I think I would have cast the Putrid Imp before going off there. I mean, it's just that extra...
Did he have the mana to cast that, though?
He could have cast it, and then he would have had to use the LED before Coliseum, but I don't think that's really a problem. I guess then he wouldn't be able to face... you're right. All right. So, going to sacrifice the Lion's Eye Diamond.
Yep.
Going to have to discard his hand here.
He has no problem with that.
Not at all.
Doesn't look like anything too relevant. Land, looting, imp. So this is the important dredge right here. After this, he only has 1 more.
Yep.
3, 4, 5. There's an Archamoeba. 6. So 3 creatures to flashback, but no target. Wow, Flamekin Zealot in the bottom of the deck.
Yeah. And
he will be able to get a lot of blockers though.
That's true. This turn he's got his opponent has 3 cards. And he's not out of this game. I
No.
actually think he's probably going to win this game.
I think so. As long as he flashes back a Cabal Therapy taking that Burning Wish, he should win.
Players in the top 8 of draft number 1. Players in the top 8 of draft open number 1.
So Zach looking through his graveyard, trying to figure out exactly what his best line of play is here.
Once again,
3 bridges in there, 2 Cabal Therapies.
Please find your head judge, Matt. He's got a clipboard in the air.
3 Narcomoebas in play and a City of Brass. So he's absolutely sacking some Narcomoebas this turn. The question is just how.
Yeah, he's going to sacrifice. I would sacrifice these Narcomoebas to use my Cabal Therapies.
Oh, definitely.
The first card I pick is Burning Wish.
Yep. So flashes back Cabal Therapy.
You're going to pick up 3 zombies for doing that.
Mm-hmm. When Narcomoeba goes to the graveyard, he gets a zombie for each bridge from below in there. And there they are.
Nice Star City Games zombie tokens there. And,
So Chrome Mox,
does name Burning Wish.
probably one of the only draws in the deck that didn't allow Gerardo to win last turn.
Yep.
Didn't have many in that deck. Yeah, the only cards he couldn't have drawn, Seething Song, Empty the Warrens, Chrome Mox. I think that's it. Land Grant.
Another Cabal Therapy.
Mm-hmm. He'll get rid of that Spirit Guide.
And did he hit his 3rd therapy?
I don't think he did. And now, interestingly enough, Gerardo might have 2 draw phases here.
Yep. Zach, you're going to have to remove those bridges from the game.
Yeah. And he's down to 8 life from City of Brass. Looks like he's lining up 3 creatures to maybe flash back a Dread Return on a Grave Troll.
I don't hate that. He gets 3 guys back. He's
Right,
basically it's a free upgrade.
Yeah, the bridges
you're gonna
are-
lose the bridges anyway.
Right. Seems like the right play to me. Get a huge Grave Troll.
Nope. Instead, just choose to pass.
Wow. So Gerardo left with only a Chrome Mox in hand. That's in his hand. That's not in play. There we go. He also has a Pyroclasm in his sideboard.
John Ho, can you please report
And a
to your...
Tinderwall.
Tinderball's good right now.
And 03 against a lot of 2/2s.
One of the only stable mana sources in the deck, too.
Yeah.
So he has to attack with some goblins here. Question is just how many. Or he can sacrifice Tinderwall. That's pretty good too.
Very good.
What would have been a better play is to wait till the draw step. Till he maybe mills the 4th bridge. But that is pretty weird timing.
I mean, not really.
So, Icarid returns during the upkeep. That'll remove a Putrid Imp. And Zach Tyree will dredge a Grave Troll, I believe. Oh, no. Might just draw a card. Counting his library. Looks like about 15 cards.
Choose to dredge that Grave Troll.
Yep. Hits that bridge and that Narcomoeba. So 4 Narcomoebas have been used.
Still hasn't found the Flamekin Zealot.
No.
Very bottom few cards of his deck.
And now he has to decide what to attack with here.
And he's still at 8. His opponent only has 10 guys. He has to leave back 3. He has the bridge in play.
First, he should definitely flash back a Dread Return. He has to do that before he attacks, or he loses that bridge from below.
Yeah, it's just free value. You know, you get you trade in your Icarid and, your 2 Narcomoeba. Just attacks on the Narcomoeba.
Okay.
That's
So
fine.
Playing it cautiously. He knows his opponent only has a Chrome Mox in hand.
And standard win box number 6, come on up to the main event stage. Commander, come on up to the main event stage. 10 standard win box, come on up to the Shivan Dragon banner. We're going to get you started.
Yeah, so this is
Gerardo takes 1.
look at the table right now.
You have an entire graveyard fanned out, a tiny little in-play zone involving a City of Brass as the only land on Zach's side. Gerardo's side, 10 Goblin tokens and a Taiga.
This is not the most interactive match.
No,
So-
it's actually taking a surprisingly long time for this first game, though.
Yeah, I'm
Dredge is a
surprised,
complicated deck.
Yeah, I mean normally you can just go through it.
This is actually one of the most interactive games you'll probably ever see between Belcher and Dredge. 10 Goblin tokens on turn 1 versus an opponent who can't really find his Dread return target.
Yeah,
Sort of a strange stalemate here.
very strange stalemate. All right, Gerardo draws first turn, and
Gerardo's best draw would have been another Tinderwall.
definitely. Gerardo last turn, if he had slow rolled that Tinderwall and not sacrificed it and instead attacked and forced Zach to make some blocks, he would have given himself some outs in the form of Burning Wish. He could have gotten a Goblin War Strike.
Yeah? Or,
But now he does not have those outs.
no. No outs left.
No outs at all.
So Flamekin
Zach's
Zealot,
still not finding
Yep.
that Flamekin Zealot.
I think there are 3 cards left in his library.
Yeah, nothing dredges for 3, unfortunately for him.
No, he's going to have to do this the hard way, turn his zombie sideways.
Yep. Let's see if he can figure it out. The cards he has in play do win against the cards that Gerardo has in play.
Someone asked on Twitter, isn't this a rules violation? Pretty poor job of maintaining the order of his graveyard. Yeah, it is, but both players know that the graveyard order doesn't matter in this particular case, and sort of just letting it slide. The table judge probably should be in charge of this, but
Yeah, I think the order of graveyard thing,
it's such an old archaic rule that
yeah, and it can matter.
it can't matter. It matters
Hypothetically.
for a small subset of cards.
Yeah.
Phyrexian Furnace probably being the most commonly played, so that gives you a little idea of how common it is.
Gerardo choosing to attack with 1 Goblin.
Trying to kill that bridge from below.
Zach could simply just take 1 damage. Not really a big deal right now.
Nope, 8 life. Versus a deck with no burn in it. Shouldn't matter too much.
Now, if Zach had, used that Dread Return and gotten back that Grave Troll, he could have started abyssing away those goblins.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, not many turns involved to simply just end up having lethal from your zombie tokens.
Right.
But now, he's putting himself in a position where he doesn't have any draw steps left, and he draws the Flamekin Zealot.
Yep, he does. He has too few cards in his library to dredge. And with no way to get that into the graveyard, he's just going to have to turn some of those zombies sideways at some point here.
Yeah, he's really going to have to attack with zombies here. You have all these 2/2s in play, and your opponent just has a bunch of 1/1s. Sometimes you don't have to combo exactly, but...
Right. This game has taken 23 minutes, believe it or not.
A Belcher deck against Dredge, 23-minute game. That is not something you see all the time.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So, Zach, with all these 2/2s, he doesn't really have to be worried about much. I think just attacking and leaving enough back just to not die.
Right.
It's gonna force Gerardo to start making blocks, which will put you in a position where the next turn you can just kill him. So I mean, Zach has the win right now, and as long as if he doesn't go for it this turn, he may actually lose that window
to decking of all things. Yeah.
And he actually had the win before this whole thing had happened.
It's very true. He should have just been attacking with some number of zombies. Even if he wants to play it safe, leave like 6 zombies back, 8 zombies back, he can still do that. Because he has those Narcomoebas. I'm not really sure. He's gonna have to start attacking now. At some point, he will have to start attacking. I don't know what
he's looking for. And also, the way he's looking through his graveyard, I don't know if it seems like he believes that he has maintained order of the graveyard because of the way he's keeping it all in this. Oh, but order of the graveyard is no longer maintained.
Yeah, if I was Zach here, I would just.
What he's thinking, right? This is interesting. It's
Well, most dredge players, I think, are just so used to comboing out, they might not be used to, actually going through the motions, slogging it out with zombie tokens.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a bunch of 2/2s and your opponent has a bunch of 1/1s, it's
yeah, usually good for the 2/2 player.
Usually good for the player with a bunch of 2/2s.
10 goblins on one side, 8 zombies on the other, 2 Narcomoebas, and an Icarid also on the zombie player side. That City of Brass is in play. That's the only other permanent. All those other cards on top are his. That's his pile of a graveyard there.
And choosing to just attack with 2 Narcomoebas and an Icarid here.
Yep, Gerardo should probably block that Icarid with a 1/1.
Yeah, I mean that will remove the bridge from below from Zach Tyree's graveyard, which
he
could have gotten some value out of.
Definitely.
Chose not to. Interesting. And Gerardo.
So Goblin token blocks, bridge from below gets removed.
Yeah.
Gerardo's goblins move down. He only has 9 now. This game is quickly approaching the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, this is. I'm surprised the judge hasn't intervened about slow play here. That seems to be something that hasn't really been happening in this Legacy event. There's
No, it's really just up to the table judge, and each judge's opinion of slow play is different.
Yeah.
Some judges sort of compensate for the extra, for the board state being more complicated, some don't. I think it's sort of an issue of contention among some judges. But.
And I do agree that it's good to, compensate for that, but there's only so much compensation that one can provide.
That's true. So Zach draws a Cabal Therapy, targets himself. This will get rid of the Flamekin Zealot.
Bring himself to 6 here.
Yep. And I have to imagine after that he'll be flashing back Dread Return on that Zealot.
Yeah.
Stands to reason. But does he have enough zombies?
It seems like after taking that damage from City and letting that Goblin token through and not using his bridges to the fullest potential, he may have actually, even though he had the Zealot. Yeah.
He has, and Zach only has 1 card left in his deck.
Yeah, that's what we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get some confirmation, though, that's nice. Yeah, 1 card left in the deck, so Gerardo has to survive 2 attack phases. That's it.
Yeah, that's all he's got to do at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, so Zach, after Cabal Therapying himself, chooses to not flash back to Flamekin Zealot and instead just attacks with 2 zombies, an Icarid, and 2 Narcomoebas. Okay.
Well, if you're Gerardo here, you definitely just block an Icarid. That's all you block, because those zombies represent 3/3s when the Flamekin Zealot does get returned.
Very true.
And that's what he does. Oh. No, it looks like he actually chump blocks the zombies.
Oh my goodness! So actually, Gerardo has he actually found a way to lose here.
I think so. We'll see what he can muster on his last turn. He's been building up cards in hand for a while. Maybe he has a final flurry to make some more goblin tokens, or yeah, we'll see now. 2 mana.
And Sploom and
Pyretic Ritual. 3 mana. Burning Wish. This should be a Pyroclasm or a Goblin Warstrike. Either one would do it.
Goblin Warstrike. That's gonna be it.
Wow.
That's lethal.
Gerardo Fedon wins that game.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The little-known card, Goblin Warstrike, coming out from Burning Wish, able to pull that game out.
Wow. That was a crazy game.
Very crazy game.
So we'll see if these players can avoid a draw in the next 2 games. So as the players sideboard, let's see what they have to bring in. Zach Tyree can definitely upgrade his Dread return targets. He can get an Iona or an Eleshnorn after board. Both of those would be really, really good against the Charbelcher player.
Very good.
Let's see. He has Ancient Grudge. That's pretty marginal. We might see that one though.
I doubt it.
Yep. It's only really good at picking off a naked Charbelcher. Firestorm, won't see that one. Leyline, nope. So that's really about it. Not much that Zach Tyree can do. Gerardo Fedon has mostly hate cards for blue decks. He has 4 Pyroblast, 4 Xantid Swarm, and just
I've always been a little bit confused by that. I don't really know how that can operate well after you've sided 4 Pyroblast and 4 Xantid Swarm.
Yeah, it's tough.
Pretty hard.
I think that's just too many sideboard cards.
There's only 20 minutes left in this round now, and we've only completed 1 game.
In the Belcher versus Dredge match.
Yeah.
Unbelievable as it seems, these players are in danger of getting a draw, legitimately in danger of getting a draw.
Yeah.
Though really 5 extra turns at the end of the match should be 1 complete game for this matchup.
Now, yeah, so I don't really think we're going to see much in the way of sideboard action out of either of these players, really.
No, probably not much. Also interesting to note that on that last turn, the Dredge player could have flashed back that Cabal Therapy too, with that, say, Narcomoeba.
Oh, and then he also would have to not die.
As long as he named the Burning Wish.
Yeah. Oh, these players have a 4-minute time extension.
Okay. Well, that's good. They really shouldn't get a draw. This matchup should not take this long.
It is extremely difficult to draw this matchup.
Yes.
Before this match started, I might have even said it was impossible. But, you know...
Impossible is a funny word to throw around, isn't it?
Impossible is a very funny word to throw around.
Yeah, it really is. There have been a few games this weekend when we thought the player had it locked up. The other player finds a way to get back into the game.
More than a few, even. You know, there have been a lot of games this weekend where one player really just had the game completely locked up and found a way to let the other player win.
Yeah, you can't ever let down your guard, even when it seems like you're just crushing in a game, because even the smallest mistake can let your opponent back in if he's holding the right cards. So now players are shuffling up, pile shuffling, and there's the opening 7.
All right, so opening hand. Let's see what happens. Now Belcher on the draw. That seems like turn 1 potential, doesn't it?
Yeah. 1 extra card to work with, definitely.
Gerardo going down to 6.
Doesn't hurt him too much, because all he's looking to do is combo out. Of course, every card missing is average, I would say, 1.2 mana, something like that.
Hey, he doesn't really get to play many of the good rituals.
No, only Seething Song. Gerardo really hopes that no Chrome Moxes will be involved in this draw. That's a card that gets really, really bad when you mulligan, especially if you draw more than one.
Yeah, Chrome Mox in general, just kind of bad in this deck.
Yeah, it's
almost always one of the first cards you sideboard out when you're sideboarding.
Yeah, sort of a necessary evil. I don't really like 4 though. 4 in Gerardo's deck seems like just a 1 too many, maybe even 2. So there's the 6. We'll see how it is.
All right, mulling over his options.
And mulling over his deck, mulliganing again. Checks the top card. Doesn't look very happy with his mulligan.
No.
Do you think his hat means germanium iron?
I think it's for Gerardo Fedon.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Gerardo Fedon breaks the hat format wide open, getting his initials on a hat. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what would you be? You'd be
JVL?
Javalu?
Javalu? That's actually pretty sweet.
It's got a ring to it.
It sounds like I play the bongos on a Paul Simon album.
I am Javalu man. So Gerardo keeps his 5, and Zach Tyree opens on City of Brass into Careful Study.
Pretty good turn 1 for Zach here.
Yep. Not the
Draw 2
enabler
cards.
he wants, but he'll take any of them.
Yeah, he has a Grave Troll, and what was that other card?
I think it's a Thug and a Grave Troll.
Thug and a Grave Troll? I meant a Thug.
Right.
I couldn't see the one underneath
I
it.
think it's a Grave Troll. It's a green card.
Oh, is it? Okay. And he does have a Breakthrough in hand, so that can get really, really good really quick.
Yep. Gerardo's turn involves drawing a card and passing. You can't get too picky with a deck like Charbelcher on 5 cards.
No, you cannot. I think you keep just about anything.
Yes. So 1 bridge and a couple dredgers milled for Zach Tyree.
I might keep anything on 6 cards, to be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty close. It would have to be a really bad 6-card hand.
And I've never even played the deck.
Yeah. And he hit multiple dredgers, so it looks like he's just going to break through for 1 here.
Very reasonable.
Yeah, definitely a good play. He'll start by dredging Stinkweed.
Stinkweed in. Getting dredged.
Milling a Narcomoeba and 2 Faithless Looting.
Yeah. Could be relevant.
Yep.
Going to dredge.
Stinkweed again.
Another Stinkweed in.
Another Narcomoeba. No Dread returns yet. No Cabal therapies yet.
Not even a bridge from below yet.
1 bridge.
Oh,
One
he
bridge.
has hit a bridge.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry about that.
So I think now this is a Golgari Thug. Yep, Golgari Thug, and luckily he hit another Dredger.
It took him a while to hit another dredger.
It did. So 1 Cabal Therapy, 1 Bridge from below, 1 Flamekin Zealot. And he discards all his Dread targets, a Dread return, and a Bridge.
Ooh.
So that was a great turn for Zach Tyree.
Yeah, Zach Tyree threatening to kill Gerardo next turn, essentially.
Yeah.
Very unlikely that he does not kill him next turn.
He should definitely flash back to Cabal Therapy here.
Yes.
I'm not sure what I would name. Maybe just Goblin Charbelcher.
That seems fine.
Yeah. So 2 Bridge tokens.
Rite of Flame.
Yeah, and it's almost like a shot in the dark versus a Charbelcher deck. But you shouldn't name Land Grant. And Empty the Warrens probably shouldn't concern Zach Tyree at this point. So we'll see what he has. Well, but Empty the Warrens is what he has.
I'm surprised he kept the empties in. I guess you kind of just need that other way to win.
Yeah, I don't think he has much to side in. Pyroblast wouldn't do it. Xantid Swarm wouldn't do it.
Zach Tyree writing down his opponent's hand. Good practice.
Yep. Shouldn't matter too much here. The empty is the only card he cares about.
Definitely the only card that matters here.
And this basically forces Gerardo's hand. He has to try and go for it here.
Yeah, really has to just move all in on this turn right now.
Yep, sure does.
Let's see if Gerardo can put the pieces together and go for it. Gerardo choosing not to go for it this turn. Is not threatened by what the Dredge player is doing right now.
Nope. Heal Mill. Narcomoeba. And Cabal Therapy.
Yep. Now,
Flashback Cabal Therapy. 2 more zombies.
I don't know if you need to flash that back right now. Don't you finish your turn kind of before you do that? See what happens, because that might actually prevent you from being able to kill him this turn.
Probably. Wants to get that empty out of there, Hero. That empty caused him a lot of problems game 1. Wants to make sure there are no war strikes. No empty the warrens, no war strikes.
Undiscovered paradise.
Okay.
Down here.
And this looks like a flashback of faithless looting.
Yeah, and that's probably going to kill Gerardo.
Yep. And you're definitely right about that Cabal Therapy. Your opponent can't do anything at instant speed, so there's no real reason to cast it first.
Yeah, he does not even have lands in play, even if he could.
Right.
Microman asking what these 2 decks do. The Dredge deck is attempting to mill its library using the Dredge mechanic on cards like Golgari Grave Troll and Stinkweed him. Once his entire library gets milled, he can sacrifice Narcomoebas to dread return back a Flamekin Zealot. When he does so, all the zombies that he makes, because of Bridge from below, when he sacrifices a creature, will all gain haste and get +1/+1, and then he can just kill his opponent all in one swing. Gerardo, on the other hand, is attempting to just make a ton of mana, all on one turn, and then use it to cast Goblin Charbelcher and target his opponent and deal them just a massive amount of damage all in one activation.
Yep. Basically, if Gerardo can get to 7 mana and have a Charbelcher, he wins.
Yes.
Unless the Taiga's in his top 9 cards.
Coming up to the main event stage.
But most likely the Taiga's gone from his deck because of land grant or just having naturally drawn it. That's the game.
That's game 2.
As you saw, Dread Return, Flamekin Zealot, took that one. But
Very
now,
surprised Gerardo didn't go for it the turn before.
You and me both.
Yeah.
I guess he thought he had one more turn. So, the Belcher deck will be on the play for game 3. And that's definitely a good place to be when you're fighting combo on combo.
Yeah.
And hopefully Gerardo...
that play.
Yeah. Hopefully the top of Gerardo's deck can be a little kinder to him. He hasn't drawn a Goblin Charbelcher this entire
game 3,
match.
only 10 minutes left in the Belcher versus Dredge matchup. With a 4-minute extension here.
So really 14 minutes. But still, if the game's anything like that first one, they'll get a draw. Even though I never thought I'd say those words.
I don't know if I could even... I can't even talk right now. Alright, well, Gerardo could just kill him on turn 1. Shaking a hand for their game 3 match here.
Yep, they've had a tight
Round
match
5.
so far. One really interactive game and one not so interactive game. When Gerardo had 0 permanents, 0 spells played, and 0...
And, game 1 wasn't really that interactive. Come to think of it, like there were some Cabal therapies cast, but in reality, like Zach had a bunch of 2/2s in play, and Gerardo had a bunch of 1/1s in play, and then
They're just
Gerardo
sort of staring
won.
at each other.
Yeah, because Zach let him draw more cards
Right.
instead of just killing him with 2/2s when his opponent had 1/1s.
Yeah, and if he had been whittling down those 2/2s, even say attacking 1 zombie a turn would have been enough to just whittle down those 2/2s.
Yeah, I think,
or those
I think
1/1s.
it was actually like 2 or 3. Would
Yeah,
have been
sure,
enough.
really.
Yeah, but like you get the idea, people.
Right.
He
So game 3, I have to imagine favors Gerardo. Just have to assume that. Playing Goblin Charbelcher, usually they have way better draws than this. Gerardo has not drawn well. Like I was saying, 0 Charbelchers drawn in the match. Which is pretty crazy when you think about how many cards you saw game 1.
Yeah, you saw a lot of cards.
More than any Belcher deck should see, really. A little crack of the knuckles, getting ready.
Yeah, opening 7. It's kind of what matters with this Belcher deck.
Yeah, it is.
Belcher seems like it might be a fun deck to bring to a tournament sometime and just
Steamroll people.
Well, more than that, just a deck where you really don't have to pay much attention to the tournament at all.
Yeah.
Like if I had not prepared at all for a tournament and just kind of wanted to show up and hang out with my friends and also play in the Magic tournament, Belcher seems like a pretty fun deck to play.
Yeah.
I mean, you just turn 1 people. Your opening hand is really all that matters. You just mulligan
Pretty
or
much.
don't mulligan, and then on 6 cards, no matter what, you keep it. And then, and you just sit there. I'm fine with that.
So it looks like someone mulliganed to 6. I missed 2. I think it was Gerardo.
So, who's mulliganing here now?
I believe it's Gerardo.
Gerardo going down to 6 cards again.
Yep. So
for this Belcher deck.
Yeah, 3 mulligans in 3 games. Yeah, if I were Gerardo, I'd almost just keep in the dark here.
Yep.
Having 5 cards.
I also like dark keeping. Dark keeping's so much fun.
Cal Druskin on Twitter asks, why doesn't Dredge run an Elishnorn? He has one on the sideboard.
He does have an Elishnorn.
And he definitely should have brought it in, as well as the Iona. So Iona on red just pretty much locks Gerardo right out.
Barring an unusual number of Lotus Petals and Tinderwalls.
Right. Elvish Spirit Guide, Simian Spirit Guide, Chrome Mox. That's about it, though.
Yeah.
So Gerardo shuffling up, going to 5 cards. Wow.
Gerardo going down to 5 cards. I don't think I ever go to 5 cards with this deck, to be honest.
There are some hands you just can't keep, like when it's all Spirit Guides.
Or
and
like all Chrome Moxes.
Yeah, like 2 Chrome Moxes, 2 Spirit Guides, and Empty the Warrens and something else. You can't keep that, unfortunately.
Zach Tyree looks a little more nervous than he should be. Belcher on 5 cards, not the most impressive animal.
Nope. Almost looks like a random pile of cards when you only have 5 of them. Yeah. Let's see. Gerardo would love a Lion's Eye, a Charbelcher, and really any other 3 cards. And he keeps.
Place, just pass the turn, no play.
Just says go.
Yep. Futured him for Zach, and he's going to pass over to Gerardo.
Gerardo really needs some top decks here. And says go. Upkeep, Zach Tyree discards Putrid him, or rather Stinkweed him, and dredges 5. Oh, look at that, Archimedes.
Archimedes is a pretty good one. 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, it's a Grave Troll too. Very good dredge.
Yep.
Zach's had some weak dredges earlier in this match. Now he's getting some good ones.
Yeah. In his hand, he has a Breakthrough and an Archimedes. Undiscovered Paradise enters the battlefield tapped. And casting Faithless Looting. Yep. That was a good dredge if he had a Faithless Looting in hand.
Super good dredge. Yeah. Faithless Looting in hand. So, Faithless Looting going to dredge this Golgari Grave Troll first.
Yep.
6 cards off the top for Zach Tyree here.
One bridge from below. Yep, no more Archimedes yet.
bridge.
No Cabal Therapies yet, which is really important for Gerardo.
Has more dredgers in hand. Let's Stinkweed him. Dredging 5 now.
And he does hit a Cabal Therapy, so that's going to let him have a blind look at Gerardo's hand. Not sure what he'll name. Maybe Empty the Warrens?
Oh, he has a Breakthrough in hand. Can he just win right now? Oh no, another Faithless Looting. Okay, so he'll just break through next turn and kill his opponent.
Yep.
As long as Gerardo doesn't kill him.
Right. So that is a danger. So Grave Troll gets dredged. 3, 4, 5, 6. And one more dredge. Grave Troll.
Another Grave Troll.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, what a dredge.
Yeah, and I'm actually quite surprised Zach didn't just break through there instead of casting that. Because he could probably just dredge his whole deck.
Yeah.
Kill his opponent right here.
I think that would have been safe. He would have had guaranteed 3 dredgers in the graveyard. So, Cabal Therapy. What it looks like Zach Tyree's going to do. Yep. Flashback Narcomoeba. Get some bridge from below tokens. Not sure if it's 2 or 3.
It looks like he's going to get 3 tokens, I believe.
Yep, 3 tokens into play.
3 zombies on the table for Zach Tyree now. To see his opponent's hand. And 2 Pyretic Rituals, a Seething Song, and a Tinder Wall.
Wow.
Yeah, if he has another Cabal Therapy in the yard, right?
He has 2 more.
Oh, so he can just name Ritual and the game's over.
Yeah, he can just completely strip Gerardo's hand. Gerardo has no card draw, no real way of drawing more than 1 card a turn, period. So this game will go to dredge as long as Dredge flashes back those Cabal therapies. Attack for 2.
Yep. Gonna attack for 2 with this Putrid right now. And Putrid, that was your call for the winning deck list.
Yeah. So Zach Tyree carrying the flag here. The Belcher flag.
Buttercup. Your horse. All right, and it looks like without those 2 Pyretic Rituals, Gerardo is going to be up a creek without a paddle.
No paddles in sight.
No paddles in sight at all for Gerardo now.
Flashes back that last Cabal therapy, sacking a zombie.
Yep.
Probably take that Tinderwall out of Gerardo's hand.
Yep, just gonna name Tinderwall. And Gerardo, not so happy at Campa right now.
Chrome Mox, interesting. And really, that Tinderwall should have been cast earlier. That thing's ability to neutralize those bridges at instant speed is huge. If he had just had that Tinderwall in play.
Yeah, would have been a big difference.
Yeah.
And he also... never mind. Just... It's not even worth it. Like... So... Dredge from Zach Tyree on the Grave Troll here. Counting how many cards left in his deck. Gonna have Breakthrough here. Just wants to hit his Flame Concealed, so we can end it right now.
Yep.
Hypothetically, he could just attack with those zombies and then pass again and just win that way.
Yeah, either way will work. He probably wants to kill his opponent now just in case.
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Something a lot of people are mentioning on Twitter is that a lot of Dredge players side out their Dread Return plan post-board because that's kind of what people are going for, like what people are trying to stop. And you can just win with Zombie Beatdown and control the game with Cabal therapies, and then you have a ton of tutus. You can really beat a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the right way to do it.
Having 10 power of uncounterable zombies backed up with 3 free Cabal therapies is huge.
Yeah, huge, and often you're doing that on turn 2 or 3.
Right.
So
a Legacy deck would have to have something like Engineered Explosives.
Yeah, and Zach Tyree takes this match, advances to 5-0 here.
Yeah, congratulations, Zach Tyree.
Legacy Open here in Tampa, Florida.
One more round, and he should be able to double draw into top 8. One more win.